All right, we have a good group with us, so I think we are good to go ahead and get started. So thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Elizabeth Jeffrey Franco. I am with Health Sciences Global and Online, which is a unit within the University of Arizona aimed at developing new and exciting online programs. And the program we're going to be talking about today is the Graduate Certificate in Innovations in Aging. So throughout the presentation, if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat and I'll address any as I can along the way, or we will have a Q&A portion at the end where we can make sure to get everyone's questions answered at that point. All right, so why study aging? This is a great place to start. Well, we have to prepare for our aging world. By the year 2035, US adults age 65 and older will outnumber children for the first time in history and will represent about 21% of the total population. In the US today, older Americans account for 26% of physician visits, 35% of hospital stays, 34% of prescriptions issued. So this demographic shift is a pretty major deal. It's no doubt going to be accompanied by an increase in healthcare and other service utilization, and certainly necessitate strategies that support the needs of older adults, including preparing professionals who specialize in aging to work with these populations in the US and around the world. Important to note, not only is the number of older adults increasing around the world, but the aging population is becoming increasingly diverse. More and more older adults are members of minority groups, women, LGBTQIA, et cetera. And as we know, these groups have really specific needs and present certain opportunities for professionals specializing in aging to adapt to the industries they work in to properly support these different groups. So demand for professionals specializing in aging has really never been higher, and we can see the demand outlined here on this slide. Individuals with advanced education in gerontology are greatly needed in private and public sector jobs, and that's been documented on state, national, and global levels. Here you can see some data from the US Bureau of Labor Statistics, and this indicates that there's actually a faster than average job growth in gerontology-related professions. A few examples here on the slide: healthcare social work, physical therapy, social and community service management. These are among the fastest growing industries employing gerontologists, with 13, 21, and 15% projected growth rates respectively between now and the year 2035. So whether you're looking to enhance your current career or start a brand new one, in education and aging can definitely help you meet your goals. Since aging affects everyone, nearly every family, community, industry, and company around the world, it's no surprise that the demand for professionals specializing in aging is rapidly growing in a wide variety of areas. As this demand continues to grow, our objective with Innovations in Aging is to continue to meet the needs of those around us in innovative ways. And the graduate certificate that we're talking about today is really designed to do just that, through its collaborative leadership and its coursework and alignment with the leading international and professional organizations. The possibilities where you can add value with an education in aging really are endless. You can see that here on this slide, whether you're interested in clinical care or working in business or social work. There are really all sorts of ways that a graduate certificate in aging can help you advance your career and really make an impact in a positive way. So let's dig into the details a little bit more. Innovations in Aging is a 100% online interdisciplinary graduate certificate program that offers you a foundational knowledge of gerontology and how to implement innovations in your career. The interdisciplinary element is really, really important. We're going to talk about that more in just a moment, but it's important to know that aging and gerontology, that's an interdisciplinary field. Right? So it's important to have collaboration from experts from across the University of Arizona, and that's exactly what was done in the building of this program. The program is intentionally designed to meet the needs of busy students and professionals. So whether you're a current University of Arizona student pursuing a master's program or PhD and would like to add this program and take it concurrently with your current program, or you're a working professional and looking to take the graduate certificate program while working full time, you'll find that this program is for you. All of the coursework is designed in bite-sized 5-week segments. There are 13 1-credit 5-week courses. The program is designed to be taken over the course of 1 year or 2 traditional academic semesters. But again, if you're busy working or as a professional student, you can certainly spread the program out and take it part-time over the course of 2 years as well. All of the content is delivered in a really convenient asynchronous format, so you can participate in the course lectures when and where you have time. There's also supplemental content delivered via podcasts, and I'll talk about that more in a moment as well. But really, as I mentioned, built from the ground up specifically to meet the needs of busy students and professionals. So this isn't simply a program that was offered in person and was thrown online in a hasty fashion. It was specifically designed to be offered in this online format. Another key element of the program is that it is AGHE aligned, meaning that it is specifically preparing students with the skills and coursework necessary to apply for professional certification through the National Association of Professional Gerontologists, NAPG. So once you complete the program, you'll have all the coursework and documentation you need. You can visit NAPG online and apply for professional certification there, which is a great thing to be able to add to your resume and LinkedIn and other places moving forward as well. So I mentioned we would come back to interdisciplinary. Here on this slide, you can see the executive leadership committee that built the Innovations in Aging program. And there's representation from each of the 5 health sciences colleges here: pharmacy, public health, medicine, nursing, as well as nutritional science and wellness. You can see our program director is listed on here, Dr. Linda Phillips. And I want to also highlight, these are just the executive committee members that founded the program, but there's ongoing collaboration across the university as well. There are other faculty members actively teaching courses in the program right now, like Dr. Jenny Gubner from Arizona Arts, Dr. Yumi Shirai from Family and Community Medicine, Dr. David Beta, who heads up the bioethics department, and the list goes on and on. So tons of expertise backing up the development of this program, and you can feel confident that these subject matter experts know what they're talking about. They all have a long laundry list of accomplishments, many former gerontologists of the year on this slide, and you'll get to interact with them personally as you participate in the coursework throughout the program. Speaking of that coursework, here are the 13 1-credit 5-week courses that I mentioned. So you can get a real sense of the content that's going to be covered in the program by looking at this slide. We cover everything from the aging experience to ethical considerations, biological and psychological perspectives, and the list goes on and on. You can see the 13th course on there, Applying Aging Innovations, is actually a capstone course where you have the chance to apply what you've learned in a real world scenario, which is what we talk about here. So you'll have the chance to investigate, plan, and present a real world innovation that addresses an opportunity in aging that aligns with your area of interest. And this is a really great opportunity for you. You can take everything that you've learned in your coursework, find an opportunity or challenge that you want to apply this capstone experience towards, and work towards it really. So if you are already working with older adults in your current career, it would be a great chance to, approach a challenge that you've experienced in your work life and utilize this capstone experience to address it with an innovation that you've learned about. As I mentioned, there is a podcast as part of the program. It's all supplemental content, but it's designed to keep you informed and engaged. So I encourage you, even right now, if you'd like, you can pull out your phone and scan the QR code on your screen, or visit this URL, bit.ly/innovationsinagingpod. You can also just visit whatever platform you get your podcasts on, like Spotify or wherever else, and search for Innovations in Aging, and you should find the podcast that way as well. There's lots of great content on there. It is hosted by our instructional design and support manager, John Keevan, and we have special guests every month. So all of the amazing faculty members that I highlighted on the previous slide are going to be guests in the future, and there are already 4 episodes available right now. One episode in particular, Inside the Life of the Gerontologist, features former Arizona Gerontologist of the Year, Dr. Amanda Sokin. So that's a great one to listen to. We also have Protecting and Supporting Older Adults, the Aging Experience, and the Value of Connection Over a Lifespan, with more and more to come in the future. Those publish every month, so I encourage you to check it out. And if you are interested in aging, you can subscribe and listen as we release them. So a little bit more information about application requirements. So there are slightly different requirements depending on whether or not you are a domestic student or international student. So for domestic students, to be eligible to apply, you must have the following: U.S. bachelor's degree from a regionally accredited university or college. And the only exception there would be that you have been granted graduate status. So if we have any current pharmacy students in the webinar with us, that would be a great example. Students who are part of the PharmD program, even as undergrads, are granted graduate status, and they would be eligible for a program like this. And I believe there might be a couple other instances of students at the university that are granted undergraduate or graduate status as undergraduates. But in general, you have to have a bachelor's degree to apply to the program. There's also a minimum grade point average requirement. So you must have demonstrated a 2.75 GPA on the typical 4.0 scale. You will be required to submit 1 letter of recommendation along with a statement of intent. And the good news is GRE score is not required at this time. That was waived during COVID and is still being waived currently. So if you apply for this coming cycle, you will not be required to submit a GRE score. As far as international students go, there are similar eligibility requirements, although there are some additional layers here. So if you are international and based outside of the US right now and would like to complete the program remotely, you can contact us and let us know. We'll put you in touch with an international admissions counselor who can talk to you a little bit more about country-specific requirements, you know, the English proficiency exams that you'll have to take, and things like that. You still will have to submit a letter of recommendation along with domestic students, and of course, submit your statement of intent as well. So if you are ready to take the next step, now is the time to kind of get started if you'd like to begin in fall 2022. The official application deadline for fall 22 is July 1st. So that is the official deadline, though we do admit students on a rolling basis. So we're currently reviewing applications right now. And by we, I mean the executive committee that I outlined previously. They personally review all of the applications that come through and suggest admissions. So if you are interested in applying, the thing to do is visit apply.grad.arizona.edu to get started. This program uses Grad App as the service to apply to this program. It's very intuitive and easy. Once you log in, you'll kind of get a sense of what you need to do in there. And that's where you're going to upload all of the relevant information, like your transcripts, letter of recommendation, all that good stuff. So I know we went through that pretty quickly. I did see a few questions come in, so we can kind of just pause right here and have a conversation and answer your questions. So one question that came in: what's the difference between geriatrics and gerontology? That's a great question. That's come up a lot over the last few months. So I know the answer to this one. Geriatrics is actually a medical specialty focused on the care and treatment of older adults, whereas gerontology or aging is bigger than that. It's a multidisciplinary field and is concerned with the whole picture, the physical, mental, social aspects and implications of aging. So the terms sound similar, but have very different meanings and scopes. Let's see, we had another question. How much is tuition for the graduate certificate? Great question. So there is a little bit of nuance in tuition depending on what campus you are joining. So this program in particular is offered through main campus as iCourses. So current University of Arizona main campus students would choose that option. It's also offered through Arizona Online, which is available for any students or people within the US. So domestic students can participate in Arizona Online from anywhere across the country. And then it's also available through Global Direct Campus. So that would be for English speaking students based outside of the US that want to participate in the program remotely. So those are the three different campus options. Like I said, there are some slight differences in tuition across the campuses and other things to consider as well. You know, whether you're concurrently enrolled in a program, that can affect tuition rate, what semester you plan to start. So that's my long-winded way of letting you know you should visit the Bursar's website, University of Arizona Bursar's website, and that's where you'll find information on tuition for your specific circumstance. I will mention, if you're a University of Arizona employee, you can enroll in this program using qualified tuition reduction if you're a QTR eligible employee. And so you can contact HR about that for more information. All right, another question here about the podcast. Are there any alternative formats provided for those who are deaf or hard of hearing? What are the and another question from the same person, what are the requirements if you have a master's degree? Okay, so on the podcast, I'm not aware of any alternative format right now, but I'm definitely hearing that's an unmet need. So I'll take that back to our team and we can certainly explore that to figure out how we can make those a little bit more accessible. So more to come on that. Thank you so much for bringing it up. As far as the requirements, if you have a master's degree, I'm assuming if you have a master's degree, you probably also have an undergraduate bachelor's degree. In any case, the requirements would be exactly the same. So you would still need the minimum GPA that we outlined, as well as letter of recommendation, statement of intent. But I encourage you to reach out to us individually at this email address, innovationsinaging.uahs.arizona.edu. And one of our program advisors can work with you individually on specifically what you might need. All right, one more question. Is there a master's program? So great question. The executive committee is currently seeking Arizona Board of Regents approval for a master's program in innovations in aging, which would build upon this graduate certificate content that we talked about today. But that has not yet been approved. But if or when it is approved, hopefully in the next couple of months, we will certainly be sharing that information out broadly. So there are plans for a master's program, but we can't talk too much about it yet because, of course, it has not been approved by ABOR at this moment. All right. If there are any other questions, feel free to put them in the chat. And I'll keep an eye on that. But in the meantime, I think we're wrapping up here. Thank you so much for joining today. If you have any additional questions, as I mentioned, you can reach out to the email address on your screen, innovationsinaging@arizona.edu, or visit our website, innovationsinaging.uahs.arizona.edu. There's tons of great information on there for you to explore, but definitely reach out if there's anything we can help with individually. Okay, I'm seeing another question came through. Is there a limit group? I I think maybe you're asking about like, is there a limit on the number of students that we'll admit? If that's what you're asking, we don't have a limit. Oh, clarity. Yep, I mean class number of students. Yeah, so we don't have a cap on the program at this time, but certainly we'll explore that. We're just managing applications as they come through right now. If the program starts becoming too big and we're concerned about class sizes, then we'll certainly investigate that to make sure that you're getting the best student experience possible. But no, right now there's no cap on the program. Does that help? All right, wonderful. Well, thank you so much. This was short and sweet today, but hopefully there was some good information for all of you. And again, reach out if you have any questions. Otherwise, have a great evening.